So I first started getting into virtual running when the GoPro 7 came out because of the stability. At that time I was in Phuket and I didn't know how to do virtual running. I studied a lot of other people's virtual running videos looking for the shadows to see what were they holding, what were they using. Does it look like a big camera? Does it look like a phone? Does it look like a GoPro? Are they holding it on a selfie stick? Are they holding it handheld? Are they holding it on a gimbal? So I tried everything. So I used the GoPro 7, I put it on a head mount and I ran many beaches, and I'm gonna upload those so that you can see what they look like. Also, some were handheld and some were on the chest mount. Nothing looked as good as when I switched over to the gimbal. This is the iSteady Pro 3-axis handheld stabilizing gimbal for action camera, and it is splash proof from Hohem.
And this gimbal is very lightweight. It has a stand at the bottom here.
What's good about using these feet is just before I start my run, I turn it all on so it's filming, and then I go down to where I want to go, and then I might need to adjust something like my watch or my music or my sunglasses or just do something. So then I just put it down and pull like this, make my adjustments,
and then pick it back up.
With this hand I just close things. Sometimes I use my face. I go off and run with it.
And you have to play around with the settings, because some settings are just not good for virtual running. Some are more for cinematic walks or particular types of pans. I use the second setting because it's got the least amount of side to side, continues to aim forward even when I turn around. One of the settings, it has a more fluid motion. When you move side to side, it will slowly move side to side with you, and I don't want that for virtual running. You want it to stay as still as possible. And one of the settings, if you set it to face forward and then you turn this way, it's still facing that way. So if you go to do a U-turn, it's now going to be facing you.
You have to play around with all the settings on your gimbal to find the right one for the type of run that you're going to do. And I do like this little saying here, make the moment, enjoy it. That's just good advice. If you are using the GoPro Hero 7 or the GoPro Hero 8, it's already got built-in stabilization, but this gimbal makes it look a lot better. I used to film with the GoPro 7 using the head mount, sometimes the chest mount, sometimes just handheld, and yeah, the stabilization was really good, but it's not good enough for virtual running, especially if you're going to put it on the internet and expect other people to actually run to it. Even the GoPro Hero 9, I'll still use the gimbal because I still need something to hold. I film a lot of my beach runs in Super View, and I don't use the Max mod, so the gimbal actually allows me to film in Super View with a smooth looking frame. I
bought this when I was using the GoPro 7 primarily for virtual running, and you see the brackets? That is how you hold the GoPro on. So this is the actual gimbal. This is where you put the GoPro and the bracket sits over top. If you upgrade your camera and it doesn't fit, there's nothing a little lucky bands will not fix. That's why waste a good, capable gimbal.
I was running with this with one lucky band at first, and then I thought, you know what, I should probably use two just in case one snaps, and that day one did snap. And I was running down Surfers Paradise Esplanade and it snapped off, boom, and then I was only relying on one lucky band, and it held for the rest of the run. So now I use 4 to 5 lucky bands because I didn't want to break my GoPro 9, which I ended up breaking with the basketball and a pebble. Oh! But at least I didn't break it running, which most people thought that's how I broke it, but I didn't. I used it so much I busted this button off, but it still works just fine.
Aims up and down.
So you might sort this out and have it facing exactly how you want. This will be all fired up and pointing in the right direction. While it's being held up like this. But is that really how you're going to run with it? I run with it like this. I run with it here.
I got the camera right down here. So I got to adjust it here at the hip.
Do not turn this on without the GoPro on it or it will go and it'll go nuts. You want to see? So I do things so that you don't have to. Ooh, that's not good for it. Okay, now turn it off. Go turn it off. Holding the button to turn it off. Right. I also use a little bit of a hack on my editing software. I use iSteady. It has a stabilization mode. So I put my stabilization filter on top of the GoPro 7 videos, even when it's with the gimbal. So it's got the GoPro 7 inbuilt stabilization, a gimbal, and then software put on top of it to really straighten it out. And I'm going to give you a comparison of with the software and without the software.
More stabilization equals better.
With the GoPro Hero 9, I do not need to use that software. It's fine. So I recommend the iSteady Pro by Hohem. If you use a different gimbal, let us know in the comments what gimbal that you like. If you like this one, I'm going to put a link down in the description to the website for Hohem and also where I got my purchase of this cool looking gimbal. You want that smooth motion. Video is sponsored by this. Video is sponsored by this bench. This is like the best bench. Look at it. It's all stable. Like and subscribed and commented. Please do that because I'm in desperate need of some help. Boom.